The biggest update was overhyped, and even disappointed many. Of course, I'm talking about the verse 2 update, since it's the only big update that Deepwoken has ever received. It was so hyped that the layer 2 sneak peeks are still the most liked Deepwoken tweets, along with an unofficial repost of a sneak peek getting 100,000 views. But as we know, the update did not live up to the hype, and straight up disappointed people. Where did it go wrong? We were getting layer 2, a PvP rework and progression changes. So why is the game somehow drier than before with even more frustrating PvP? Those changes were basically promising better replayability along with a decent amount of content. Instead, we got an hour worth of easy walking simulator content and even more unbalanced PvP. Despite an entire layer being added, how you play the game is exactly the same. Just a bit faster. Layer 2 and progression changes were still good, don't get me wrong, but it's still progressing at the same islands every damn time. Then once your build is finished, you farm HP kits or legendary weapons at the same place, just like verse 1. Except it's even more boring, since layer 2 is a preset linear dungeon. In a vacuum, the update is pretty good. The actual issue is that it took an entire year just for little to no replayability. We are fundamentally doing the exact same shit as we did before the update. It's just simply reskinned. The lack of improvement in replayability can be seen as the player count dropping to how it was before the verse 2 update. If actual replayability in the game was added, there would be an overall slight increase. And in fact it does whenever a Battle Royale comes out, since that's simply good replayability. The community's expectation at the time was high risk high reward content along with better progression and replayability. Which is why you see so many YouTubers complain about layer 2 being too easy. But why was the community overhyping in the first place? The short answer is, people naturally expected a lot since it took a whole ass year. The long answer is actually really concerning and has huge implications for the next big update and even Deepwoken's future. We were not told enough about the update and were even misled in some cases. For example, we were told that with the tempo system, the mage playstyle would not be viable, and most importantly, M1ing will be necessary. But instead, zoning and not M1ing is somehow even stronger than verse 1. How do you fumble so badly that you get the opposite effect? I'm not saying the devs should have told us every single thing, since that would spoil the experience. But there are things we should have known, like the difficulty of layer 2. Layer 2 is dead-ass easier than layer 1, even without Lighthook. And that's including floor 2. I would rather fight a Theron than 5 Neanderthals ganking me at Castle Light. If I went back in time a year ago and told everyone that layer 2 will be easier than layer 1, no one would believe me. That's just how much we weren't told during the year-long development of the verse 2 update. The overhyping wasn't entirely the devs' fault though, since Roblox players are just built like that. As long as it's something new, they jump up and down in excitement. They deadass get hyped for new anime bandit beaters releasing, then immediately forget about how arse it was, because they have the attention span of a goldfish. So they mindlessly get hyped for the next dogshit cash grab game and the cycle continues. Despite this, verse 2 wouldn't have been as overhyped if the devs did one simple thing. Again, it's just more transparency. I know I'm sounding like a broken record here, but if there was more transparency, the update taking too long and the unmet expectations wouldn't be a problem, since we would have known in advance and not be disappointed. Or the devs could have just finished the update earlier, then less transparency would have been fine. The actual problem is that we were pretty much left in the dark for an entire year. Imagine playing the game every day since release, waiting for the first big Deepwoken update for a year. Then all you end up getting is an hour worth of nothing burger content. The update was still great for new players, but it's such a huge slap in the face to the core player base. The people who actually care about the game and who keep it alive in between big updates. Despite all of this, I personally wasn't that disappointed about the verse 2 update compared to the average player. What I'm concerned about is what this means for the next big update, which is taking more than a year. That's more time than the verse 2 update took. So far, history has been repeating itself and it might be even worse. All we know about the next big update is that we're getting Conquest and the Hero Blade Oath. We are somehow getting even less transparency than last time. At least last time we got 2 verse 2 direct videos. This time we got nothing. If all we get is Conquest after waiting for a whole ass year again, Deepwoken will die. Subscribe for more content like this and see you later.